begin.
John, congratulations on your performance today. I thought that was your best performance of the season. Set the tempo, scored a nice goal, everything around it. How did you feel today?
Yeah, not really pleased. I thought that was probably the team's best performance. I don't know whether you meant me or the team. But yeah, no, I thought that was
I meant both.
So I thought the team's performance was really good, yet really satisfying on the front foot. Forward passing, forward running, loads and loads of chances created. So no, really satisfying day.
Said to the manager that there was a lot of variation in the play that we maybe didn't have in games beforehand. Livingston, a lot of side-to-side crosses, but today there was a lot of, I know this sounds silly, but just straightforward passes, direct passes towards goal, and the link-up play in midfield was a lot better. Malik getting into a lot better positions as well. Did you find that, obviously in the middle of it and setting the tempo and things as well, but did you find that there was more options for you, whereas before maybe not?
Not really, because if you see games, other teams, how other teams set up, you'd understand how hard it is to break two banks of five behind when you're playing like a team against Livy. Don't get me wrong, I know we weren't great on the day against Livy, but it's completely different dimensions of passing, and you can get them forward running lines and then forward passing lines when a team actually comes and pressures you and tries to have a go. Livy had to go in a different way, of course, but it is tough to play against two banks of five, and it was another tough test for us today. But I thought we were a lot better today, a lot more tempo in our passing, our running, and our counter pressing. So no, yeah, good day.
So I was just going to ask, does that set you up for the Ajax game?
And again, another challenge for us. The way we are set up probably be different to today, but more of the same. Hopefully, with what we showed, pressing and running forward, because we know what the fans here want. We're not silly. We know what it takes to be Rangers players, and like before today, it's not like we weren't trying to give that. We have been, of course, but it hasn't been quite clicking in today, it clicked.
John, do you prefer playing as a 6 or as an 8? Whereas today, obviously, you've got a lot more licence to get forward. What do you actually prefer?
Honestly, I honestly don't mind either one. I think I played well in the 6, and I think I played well the last 2 games in the 8. So honestly, don't mind as long as I'm playing on the pitch. I'm satisfied to play right back, even centre half. I've enjoyed playing centre half with the gaffer, so I honestly don't care.
Do you think the players felt the pressure? Do you think the players felt the pressure today? And if so, do you actually think you showed the real side of your character and the way you responded to it?
Felt the pressure. If anything, I'd say we never felt the pressure today, because I think we played a lot more free. I think we felt the pressure in other weeks gone by. This place sometimes can be an hard place to play when the fans get a little bit unsettled. It's no shying away from the fact it does. It's a big place and it's a massive fan base. But it's about characters and trying to stand up and getting lifting the crowd and getting them behind you. This place can be probably one of the hardest places for other teams to come and play football when the fan base is behind us. It can really be the 12th man for us, but sometimes when things aren't going your way, of course they want to win, and they want to win by 2-3 goals, which we should be in the league. Let's get it right. But today they were behind us, and I thought we played for them and played with.
I mean, Celtic got a difficult game tomorrow. Was there a need to give them something to think about tomorrow as well?
Celtic have never been spoken about, not once. No, just me. So we don't need to speak about Celtic. Celtic, when we're not playing Celtic, there's no need for us to speak about Celtic. We're 4 points behind Celtic off our own back, nothing to do with Celtic. They beat us 4-0 away from home because we didn't perform. It's on us.
So John, I was going to ask, the manager never blames the players when anything goes wrong. Did you feel you owed them the reaction that you showed today, and probably the performance you gave overall as well?
Yeah, no, I think you're spot on. I think the players need to take massive ownership of the way we've been performing. The gaffer put a lot of work in and sends us out onto the pitch to play the style of play that we showed today, and that's how he wants us to play every single week. And it's been on us that hasn't been going out there and not performing the way he's wanted us to perform. So no, definitely on us, and we just need to keep it going now.
What kind of conversations have the players had, John, to make sure that you do take ownership of it? Hasn't been said in particular?
Yeah, there has. There's been conversations, and honest conversations as well, of how we need to react and how we need to keep our standards, and how we all need to look ourselves in the mirror and get the performances back to where it needs to be. Our league form before the Livy game, results-wise, was okay. We're in a good spot. Obviously, Champions League's different level. and we could have done better in the Champions League, of course we could, but that's a different level. The main priority has always been the league, and before the Livy game we were in a good spot really, we were fine. Okay, sometimes the performances weren't great, but results wise we were fine. Livy was a massive dip and a massive disappointment for everyone, and there was honest conversations that got said and was needed as well, so no.
John,
You're
today was a big lift in terms of performance level, intensity that we've seen the past few weeks. There's been a lot of chat out there about motivation and attitude. To what extent is it an individual player's responsibility to get in the right frame of mind to play? To what extent is it the manager's responsibility to motivate the collective?
No, it's massive. I think everything comes from the individual. I said to the lads after the game against Livy, you should turn up to training every day wanting to win in training. It's, for me, individually, you've got to have a drive in you that you just want to win, and that's it. That's in training, that's in possession boxes in training, 5v5s in training, and especially on a Saturday. That I think it's all down to an individual's mentality, and then you've got to come together as a squad and put that together.
The winning margin required against Ajax is huge, but what would you say is possible in European nights here?
At Ibrox, I think anything's possible.
John, just going back on what you were saying there about the demands put on you from the supporters and the attitude of you coming in, the players. There was a lot made of being having to start games quickly. The manager was really animated in the touchline today, driving you forward. How much has that been an issue over the last few weeks?
As in what? Just the intensity?
Yes.
I think in the Champions League we had the intensity for the first 60 minutes. I think we just blew up a little bit the red card against Napoli. I think we were flying in the first 60 minutes in the two home games, Napoli and Liverpool, for the first 60 minutes in both games. Once we conceded the first two against Liverpool, we absolutely crumbled. Obviously, there's no denying that. Against Napoli, the sending off changes the game. But before that, the intensity was spot on. I thought we were brilliant. In the Livy game, as I said, different dynamic. The two banks of five, it's hard to get tempo. Obviously you won't know, but to break down two banks of five, especially when they got that early goal, it's really tough. Of course, don't get me wrong, we were nowhere near the level, nowhere near it, but it is tough. And then today, I think we are back to what we usually are at home. And as I said, the first 60 minutes in the Napoli and Liverpool game, the intensity was there, and it was there today.
John, you're going up against with Malik Tillman in midfield with you, young lad, obviously incredibly talented. How big an asset is he going to be going forward to break down the low block that you face week in, week out in the Scottish Premiership, and also your role as a more experienced professional alongside him in that midfield?
Yeah, exactly. He's massive, and again, he's a young kid, and people need to stick behind him. People need to lift him up and encourage him and tell him how good he can be and how good he is, because he's phenomenal. His talent is honestly one of the best young talents I've seen. So people just need to stick behind him and stick with him and lift him up, rather than he has one bad game and people are talking about he needs to be dropped. It's just, people need to be lifting people up.
It was a powerful start against Ajax critical, you think, John?
I think so, yeah. I think the gaffer spoke about a big start today, and I think in any game it's critical against Livy. I know I've spoke about it a lot. It was just a disappointment for me and the team, but we didn't start well, and I think a start in any game is huge.
John, you looked emotional, sorry Nick, when you scored that goal. What did it really mean to you when that hit the back of the head?
A lot, because we're working really hard behind the scenes. We want to turn it round, the results that we've been getting, so no, it did mean a lot, and just trying to turn it round, the little rut that we're in. I wouldn't say it's a crisis, but it's a little rut, so just really want to turn it round.
Just on a quick one from me, how's the ankle? Some fans have been concerned after hearing there was a slight injury that you said on Paddy the Baddies podcast. How's that?
No, it's fine, mate, it's fine. Loads. We always play with little niggles here and there, it's absolutely fine.
Thanks, that was my
Cheers.
question. It was on.